Assalamu alaikum. My name is Noor Layla, and yesterday my cousins and I went to see The Legend of Maula Jatt. This is the first Pakistani movie I've ever seen in theaters, and I was not disappointed. The best thing about this movie was definitely the acting and the characters. First up, my second favorite character, Rojo. She was played by Saima Baloch, and I've never heard of her before this. According to IMDb, she's done one other movie called Betabia in 2019, so she's relatively new, but my god, she did amazing. Every scene she did touched your heart. There was this one scene where she was with Fawad Khan and Shafkat Chima, and this girl held her own. In fact, the whole scene was pivoting around her. Also, she's a fantastic dancer. But my favorite character would have to be Muda, played by Faris Shafi. He was so funny, so witty, so loyal. This was a character that everyone loved. You know, when you're in the theater, you can feel the vibe of the place and you know that this guy was a fan favorite. Now, let's do a 180 and talk about the character that I hated the most, Makanat. Gohar Rashid is a fantastic actor because I was physically revulsed every time I saw him on screen. He really represented the cruelty and the power hunger of the Nut clan and the fact that they had no loyalty towards each other. Okay, so now onto the main cast. Mahira Khan played Mukko, and she did fine. Obviously, she acts very well, and she's supposed to bring out a softer side of Maula Jatt's character, you know, give him another layer, a romantic layer, and she does that. However, is she essential to the plot? Debatable. Then you have Amina Malik, and she plays Daro, and I liked her a lot too. It was very interesting to see the cruelty and the thirst for power of the Nuts represented in a woman, but she was more layered than her brother Makkah because she was extremely loyal to Noori and to her family in general. Plus, she was essential in the development of Noori's character arc. Not going to lie, I did like her pairing with Maula Jatt's character, but they would have had to extend the movie another 5 hours to make that work. Then you have Noori Nut, played by Hamza Ali Abbasi. My god, did I love him in this movie. He was so unapologetically violent, but then you got his backstory, and you got the sense that even though he was a murderer, he didn't necessarily enjoy it the way his brother did. No, for him, it was about defeating his opponents, but his nature didn't allow them to survive afterwards. He was almost helplessly violent, and he did have some regret for that aspect of himself. Plus, he did have a sense of honor, however twisted it may be. Then, of course, Maula Jatt, played by Fawad Khan. I mean, what can I say? He was a well-written character and acted out even better. There was no question of not rooting for him in the movie. Anyway, the characters and the acting definitely made this movie. But the camera work and the scenery were also brilliant, like hands down gorgeous. They really used each location to build onto the scene's vibe, whether it be haunting or romantic or melancholy. Then of course there was the costume design and makeup. So, funny little story. We were talking after the movie and we were like, who was playing the dancing girl? She was so good. And then I looked up the cast list and it said that Ali Azmat was in the movie. And we were all like, where was Ali Azmat in this movie? He played Goji. The whole movie, we did not recognize him. Point is, all the looks and the costumes were amazing and on point. The storyline was also good, but there were some components of it that I didn't like. I do want to go into details with that, but major spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, then stop here. What I didn't like was Makkah's death. Not that he died, but the way he died. I really wish that he didn't commit suicide, but rather that Rojo had pushed him off. Because I feel like Rojo should have gotten some type of revenge for the murder of her fiancé, her kidnapping, and her rape. Also, I didn't like the whole framing Maula Jatt for Daro's death plot point. I mean, I get that they needed to help him escape somehow and then to take the scene back to the wrestling ring where he first started fighting, but it did sully Noori's motivations. What I mean by that is initially, Noori wanted more than anything else to fight someone who was on par with him. But Daro's death made it a revenge thing for him, which kind of took the fun out of the fight. But not too bad still. It was a very interesting plot, and despite the fact that the movie was so long, it didn't drag at all. So that's my review for The Legend of Maula Jatt. I enjoyed the movie a lot, even if it was a bit too gory for my taste, but still, it was very good and 10 out of 10 would recommend. Thank you for watching my first ever movie review. Allah Hafiz, and take care.